I'm excited to get to chat with you today, Rosemary. And, we'll just kind of talk through these questions and learn more about what your experience has been so far. So, as a starting point, can you share more about what you're studying and how you chose that degree?
So I am majoring in business administration with a concentration in healthcare administration. And it's just kind of where all of my experience aligned throughout my life. I've been in the medical admin field for my whole life. I don't want to hit my glass ceiling. And I know this degree will open doors for me that I've never got to walk through before. So that's why I'm going through with the degree program.
Perfect. Yeah, it's so nice to be entering a degree with some of that professional experience under your belt already, so that you are already familiar with the industry and what that role will look like, in the professional space. Can you share a little bit more with us about your specific career goals and professional goals with this degree?
So after I finished my undergraduate, I'm actually taking legal aspects of healthcare, and it's something that I've kind of read somewhere that with any undergraduate degree, you're eligible to apply to law school, basically almost. And it's something my main goal is the healthcare system is broken, as you guys all know, and I want to make positive changes, and I want to obtain this degree and kind of work it from the inside. So start with, and then coming from an administrative side and then going into law, I feel like I can really make some positive changes within the healthcare system.
Nice. This is so timely considering you're taking that class
I
and
know.
how that's the intersection of two of those professional goals. I think that's really amazing. It sounds like such an interesting class as well.
Yes.
Um, can you share a little bit more about working with Operation Graduate? What has your experience been like up to this point?
I think I initially got in contact when I was seeking like scholarships. And I was almost at the point of giving up pursuing going to college because I didn't think that it was affordable and that I could obtain it. I got in touch. Maria had contacted me, and she's amazing. And I was just telling her some of the challenges, and I went to a different school, and they were like, and even if you were to get financial aid, you would have to pay X amount, and it was just something I couldn't afford. And she's like, let me get you with our financial aid department. Like she kind of worked through all of the steps with me. And then you like registering me for the classes, like there was just no work. Like you guys make it so easy, and you made this like really possible for, because I was literally at the point of giving up, and I really appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. So
Oh, well, thank you for those kind words. I super appreciate it. And on behalf of the whole team and Maria as well, we really appreciate it. We're so grateful for the work that we get to do and the students like yourself that we get to connect with. I think you hit on a really frequent kind of reflection that we hear from students, that prior academic experiences that maybe are discouraging, or the challenges of navigating higher ed and the many different departments involved, it can be an intimidating task, to revisit that path and to revisit academia. So,
yeah,
our goal is to make it as manageable as possible. And we know that there's a lot of moving parts involved.
with your support, I just feel like with Operation Graduate Support, I feel like I can really just focus on my classes and learning what I need to learn. And like, I feel like everything, you guys take the stress out of it. Like everything is handled on the back end. So thank you so much.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear too. You've done such a beautiful job in school. I know you're still mid-program and working through your classes. You made the dean's list recently, which is so exciting and such a great milestone. What type of advice would you have to others who are navigating this return to school and revisiting what it means to be a student again?
Oh yes. I have lots of advice, things that have helped me. First and foremost, when you start a class initially, read your syllabus. Read your take a peek at your modules, especially once you're in your second or third, you kind of see what your workload is, and then you can schedule yourself accordingly. Like, okay, I know I have 3 assignments due for this module and a test, so I know I need to set time to study and write this paper. And if you kind of look ahead and try to work ahead whenever possible, that will help you stay on top of your goals and, getting good grades, organizing yourself. Ask questions to your professors, build that relationship. They're there to help you, utilize them as a resource. They also provide, through your syllabus, there's a student resource center where you can go to tutor.com. And if you need additional assistance, there's also a writing support. I forget what it's called, the writing center. And you
Yep.
can utilize that if you're like struggling, like, I don't know if my paper, like they can review your paper before you turn it in and let you know, like provide any feedback. So it's just really helpful. So there's just lots of tools to help you. Something else I would say is there's so much technology out there right now. Leverage that. Add
Mm.
reminders on your calendars. Use note-taking apps. To just kind of keep you organized and stay focused. And like that's kind of how I've been staying on top of things. So
Really appreciate those reflections. I think you hit on some really valuable resources that can be super integral in a student's success. You brought up a lot of great stuff. I think talking about the Writing Center for a minute, I'd love to chat a little bit more because I think that for many students returning to college, part of the challenge for many is learning academic writing again, or perhaps for the first time. It can be intimidating to learn about different style guides, how to conduct research, how to synthesize research, and how to write a paper, right? Have you utilized the Writing Center before?
I know that it's an option that's there for me. I did attempt to utilize it before and I made an appointment, but I don't know what happened with the appointment. I think me being on Eastern time and so maybe there was some confusion with the
Mm,
times or something along those lines, but I ended up still passing and I haven't needed to utilize it again. So I haven't utilized it. I just something I know is an option that's there for you if you need it. So
yeah, no, that's all good. And I think too, the mere fact of identifying resources proactively, sometimes, when we're struggling with school or just need some extra support, it can be hard to identify those resources when we're in the midst of needing that help. So it's always such a great, decision to proactively identify what are my resources in case I need them,
yeah.
right? You even mentioned just like looking ahead at assignments, and having that proactive framework, I think, to school, whether it's in identifying resources or looking at upcoming assignments, that seems to be a really valuable philosophy that you're applying to school.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. For others who may be considering going back to school, I think hearing from folks like you who, were at one point on the verge of kind of discounting returning to school as an option. Do you have any reflections or thoughts that you would like to share with people who may be in a similar position that you were in prior to working with our team?
I say don't give up. There is help out there. And I think your team was fundamental in being that help that I needed because I just didn't think I can do it. I am in a situation where I do need to work full time. So it's not something and I could return to school during the day or, do a traditional community college program with strict schedules where you have to be at class, even though they have night schedules, you have to be at class at a certain time or even online at us. You guys just allow that flexibility. And I know there's other colleges that offer that, but you guys, it's just you work at you do have deadlines that are due, but you do work at your own pace. And that's just super helpful. And there's so many options and there's so many great degrees that you can get that offer that sort of flexibility. So just don't give up. There's options out there for you.
Really appreciate that. And I'm sure it'll really resonate with other folks as well. Um, are there any other kind of reflections or experiences that we didn't have the opportunity to chat about? And when you think about, what your experience has been in your current program and working with our team?
Um, I think that there's something else that your team does as well. And in the beginning, you won't see the value in that, but as you're pushing along and you're trying to hold down a full-time job, you're trying to work, you're trying to eat healthy and exercise and take care of your kids and you're just trying to do it all. You get that little cheerleader in the background saying, keep going. And Maria's always like, hey, you're doing great. Do you need any help? And then you guys just kind of keep cheering because there's days I don't feel like it. And with you guys supporting me and just reminding me, hey, I'm doing this for a reason and cheering me on, it's just super helpful. So,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think about the word momentum.
yeah.
I use that word so frequently when I'm chatting with students because it's one thing to kind of get that momentum, get the application and start your first class. But for most, pursuing a degree is a long-term commitment, right? The
Yes.
timeline varies for different folks depending on the degree they're pursuing and their prior academic history. But that momentum's going to ebb and flow because life doesn't stop when we enroll in school.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, I appreciate that note about having that positive source of momentum. And our goal is always to, of course, be available when students hit challenges and need support or resources. But I always try to encourage a support system that's equally present for the celebrations and the wins, not just the challenges when the going gets tough, right? I think a support system is there for all of it, the celebrations, the challenges, and everything in between. So
Yeah.
thank you for that note.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we worked through all the questions I had on my radar. Anything else, Rosemary, that we didn't have the opportunity to note that you'd like to share about school?
No, that's all I can think of at the moment. But thank you so much. And it was I struggle with public speaking, so I kind of wanted to do that for this reason as well. And it was kind of helpful for me to get the butterflies out. So it's something I wanted to work on. So thank you for this.
Of course, it's so funny you should say that. We recently spoke with another student who shared a similar reflection, and she noted how she wants to be a spokesperson for folks who are reconsidering school. It can be really vulnerable to share our academic experiences. Something about academics, I think, feels really vulnerable for many, even when we're successful. So I'm very confident your story and what you shared today will really resonate with folks. So thanks for pushing out of that comfort zone. We really are grateful for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for everything that you've done for me so far. You've been like an angel. So thank you.
Oh, of course. Oh my gosh. No, you're such a pleasure, Rosemary. It's whenever I see your name come up, I'm like, oh, let's see how Rosemary is doing. It's always so
Aw.
lovely to
Thanks
connect
so
and
much.
chat. So, we're always here to support from the beginning to the finish line. We'll be there cheering you on.
Yes. Thank you so much.